Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have a new Battlefield 4 gameplay for you. It's freaking awesome. Today they are going to talk about the colorblind option and about the battle packs and Battlefield on consoles and the resolution for the PS4 and Xbox. And they will talk also about the commander mode and pickable, I think so, USS 12. Freaking awesome. Please enjoy this and leave and subscribe. Bye bye.
Everyone, welcome back to Gamescom 2013. Alex Mendez, our Golden Boy of TW here alongside Lars, and we got more questions for you, my friend. Lars, I'm sorry. I'm gonna plague you with questions, and
that's why I'm here.
Okay, that's very good. So,
fire away.
All right. So first and foremost, I want to ask you about colorblind mode. That's the first thing I want to ask. A lot of people have been curious about it. Is that going to be in Battlefield 4?
Sorry, once more the question.
Colorblind mode.
Colorblind mode, yes.
Okay.
To be honest, we have a lot of colorblind people in the studio who are sick and tired of not knowing whether they shoot friend or foe, so yes.
Okay, great. So colorblind mode will be there. Then the other thing is sniper glint, which is something that people have been really asking about in regards to when you're scoped in and like how the glint affects your scope and all that stuff, as well as when I'm running around and the glint is being shown by the scope in there for I could actually see the sniper from a distance. Is that returning again in Battlefield 4, and in what capacity?
So exact tweaks and tunes. I would say that Alan Kurtz and the guys back at home are fine-tuning right now. So exactly where we land, I can't really say, but I do know that they have listened to the community and are looking into all the little things that you guys out there are reporting.
All right, and then there was another thing. I've been getting asked this a lot, and I feel unfortunate to say I'm not too familiar with the term, tier reload. So I'm not too sure if you're familiar with that or what that means, because I'm not entirely sure. Luton, who's been feeding us a lot of questions from the community on Twitter, he's actually been really cool about it, asked me this question. He wanted to know about the tier reload, and I don't know if you can cover that a little bit.
Tier reload. Oh, you caught me off guard there.
I'm not entirely sure.
Even though I win with Battlefield for so long time, and you think that I should know everything, don't you?
No, but it makes sense, because I've never heard the term before, and we've been working a lot with Battlefield. So, Luton, if you watch, which I know you are, buddy, if you
give me the context, and I'll do my best.
The context of the question would be very much appreciated, and I guess the battle packs as well was something that people had been a little curious about. What do you know about the battle packs? What can you share with everyone?
So battle packs, it's a new concept. I mean, we have a lot of predictable rewards, so to say. You have your career path for a weapon, you have your field upgrades that you choose specifically and you target and work against. But battle packs, we want to use a lot of things that aren't tilting the battle, but it gives you a lot of additional things to customize yourself with, whether it's additional accessories, whether it's paints, camos, and a lot of little goodies that make it a little extra. And with a random factor, we hope that people will be happily surprised and always have, a little extra to look forward to.
Nice. That's always a cool thing about Battlefield. There's always a little bit more in there, so it's always fun.
We're trying hard.
Yeah, no. I mean, I clearly see that. You guys are really looking at it and thinking okay, how can we expand it? How can we really make this feel like the next gen of Battlefield? So it's very much appreciated. So now I want to ask you about the console. I had a chance to play Battlefield 4 on PS4 yesterday. It was really fun. I guess, what are the cool things that you guys are doing with console to make it more comparable to PC? And on top of that, I saw a question about resolution. What resolution will the PS4 and Xbox One versions of Battlefield 4 be in? So I don't know. I know it's 60 frames, but I'm curious about that as well.
So I mean, for me, with the next generation of console, we can finally, you guys out there who've been playing on the current generation of hardware knows that we've been stuck with 24 players and not been able to do 60 frames per second. But with the new hardware, we can push the boundaries and now come to an equal playing ground with the PC players. So 64 players, and we go targeting those 60 frames per second to give the true Battlefield experience to all players.
I agree.
And When it comes to the resolution question, I got asked earlier today, and I think I even got quoted, but we're still working on it. We're hammering away. What you do in the end of the project is you're chasing memory, you're chasing performance, so we haven't settled, and we hate to disappoint people in any direction, upwards or downwards, so we work on it, and as soon as we know, we will let the world know.
All right, so the world would know as soon as Lars knows.
Yes.
Okay, so then I want to ask you about the commander mode. Corey had a chance to speak with Patrick about the commander mode in a lot of in its capacity and all that stuff. What game types it will be using.
Yeah.
What is, I guess, for the commander mode? Is it usable on console, right?
Yeah.
And is it usable through the controller, not through the tablet? Do I have the option of using commander mode just, in my game without me having to go to a second screen application like the tablet?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
it's awesome. Just
yeah.
You don't want to.
So whether you play current gen, next gen, or PC, you have in-game commander. That's kind of where we start. That's where we build the core experience. But then on top of this, as long as you log in on your tablet with your gaming account, your Battlefield account, and you can join in as commander, whether you play on an Android tablet or your iPad.
Okay.
So, and for us, it's been extremely important that the experience for the player on Battlefield is transparent. Or you shouldn't know whether the commander is in a cafe playing or sitting in front of their favorite gaming rig at home.
Yeah. Okay, so that's completely understandable. So, in the end, then, you will actually have commander mode within the game, because that's always there. That's always something you guys had a mission for.
That's important for us, and that's where it all started.
Yeah.
I mean, when we had done Battlefield 1942, we had such a blast in the studio, sitting and playing and screaming to each other and attack that base and all of that. But once we got out on the web, we lost a bit kind of that team play feeling. So when I jumped on as lead designer for Battlefield 2, that became the core part of it. To be able to divide your soldiers into squads, it's almost like a co-op feeling for the squad leader to give orders. And with that, we realized that people were often running for the same objective, so we introduced the commander mode for all of those who haven't played Battlefield Commander before. So commander is there. This time around, we removed them from the battlefield, so you have a bird's eye view. So on the 64-player server, you will have 2 additional positions, so 64 plus 2. And these 2 commanders, they have kind of a tug-of-war-like battle where they try to outsmart each other.
Yeah.
So we're still fine-tuning, timing of the base functionality, where you have UAV scan to reveal enemy soldiers, or to counter the other commander with EMP scan.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the base foundations, and we want that tug-of-war balance to be perfect.
So it's like a very intense chess match.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We were actually thinking about a lot of kind of creative movies around, these 2 chess players trying to outsmart each other. But it's not all about you. It's about you doing your best for your team, getting the trust from the team, since as your team work for you and you work for them, start taking bases, you get additional assets to use. You work as a unit, and you will help lead your troops to victory.
Well, speaking of the troops, let's actually talk about the. I guess one thing I want to talk about is just the gameplay itself, right? So something that a lot of people have been asking is about clipping, right? And that is like, if I go prone and I'm inside of a building, am I going to clip, or my feet, like, and I know that's something you guys are always working on, like maybe prone blocking or something like that.
Yep.
But is that something that you guys are looking into fixing, or what's the deal with that?
I know that the core group have been looking into it, and we're looking into a system where basically if you go prone, you slowly get pushed out of it, just so don't people kind of use and abuse the system. I haven't seen the final fine-tuning of it, and I haven't tried it down here, but it's something we're aware of and working on.
Okay, so that is something that you guys are definitely working on. Awesome, good to know, very good to know. And funny thing here is that people said that Corey had just rage quit out of the game. He didn't rage quit, he just had to step away for a second. But we are actually going to be in the game here and checking out some stuff. But of course, one thing that I want everyone to understand is that this is still very much, this is alpha, correct? Like what the build that you guys are running right now is the alpha build, correct?
Yeah. So for me, it's great to be here. It's great to see people hands-on with the game. But it's also also extremely nervous. You know, I know that the whole team is sitting back home and wondering, will he say the right thing?
Yeah.
Since many things are still fine-tuned, it's based on a lot of the feedback we get from here. We get in the forums based on what people see. A lot of little things might change. So, but at the same time, I wouldn't like it anyway, since the sooner we get it in front of the hands of the community, we will get that feedback, and that's what we live and die for.
Yeah, the mission, I noticed since I've been working with you guys at E3, has just been, we want to get people playing this game ASAP so that we could just start tuning our game.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you guys really did look into that. One feedback that part of feedback that I got from the E3 build was in regards to the weapons. And you guys really went out of your way with the guns this time around. Is there any gun that you're particularly happy about that made it into this build of Battlefield 4 and you hope to see it get into the final release? And also, to add to that question, are these the final list of guns that you guys are going to be implementing into Battlefield 4?
On the final list, I would say just yes, as far as I know.
Okay.
And when it comes to the tuning, I know that Alan Kurtz, Christian Pavel, all the animators, artists, they've been working day and night during this summer to get this into solid and fine-tuned way. When it comes to favorite weapons, I think ask Alan Kurtz. I'm not the man of precision. I'm the one that doesn't hit the barn from the inside.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a favorite weapon. I like to try around, and it's usually I try to, especially to be able to provide a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
I try to jump around between kits and weapons constantly, just to get all the types of kind of perspectives and angles on the different weapons to see that. How would I perceive this as a consumer?
No, it makes perfect sense. And something the consumers have actually been asking of us is about the player count in the game. So now I know that PC gamers, they like to really push the boundaries of what a game can do.
Yep.
In Battlefield 4, do you guys have any intentions of allowing the players to go beyond 64 players, or are they just, hey, we're going to keep it at 64 players because this is what the game is meant to be played on? What's the mindset, I guess, in regards to that over at DICE?
So I guess that the mindset has been with this super ambitious project, we have had to settle for kind of a framework, and to us, with all the tools we have to get players back into the battlefield, everything done with spawning and so on, we have settled for 64. That is the framework we work within. And then it's more about the experience with those 64 players. So we have put more emphasis and effort, which I hope you have noticed, to the dynamic battlefield, to the use of the battlefield. So 64 is what we have, and if you look at the journey from Battlefield 1942, where we started with 64 players, when you died, you had quite a long journey back into the battle.
Yeah.
So if you look at the player count today, given that people spawning quicker, they have spawn beacons, they get resurrected, spawn on vehicles, spawn everywhere. The player per that you see in view and that you encounter and battle with is by far so much higher than previously. So who knows in the future? But we can't take on all the challenges at the same time. To me, many times when we see the community setting up servers, dedicated servers and so on, it's very often that it's not 64 players that's the favorite. It's usually around 40 or something, and that tells us that people often strike a good balance around 40, where they find kind of it's a good pace between good hectic battle, good encounters, while still playroom and not too chaotic.
Yeah, and I do notice, players, speaking of like expanding on stuff, players, they like to, I guess, test the limits of things and see how much you can do. And I've been seeing, we've been talking a lot about the squads, right? And how it's organized.
Yeah.
So you can have 5 people in a squad, and you can also have 4 or 3. Now, me and Corey have spoke about this quite a bit, but I haven't had much of an opportunity to ask one of you guys about it. For those at home who are not aware, how are squads working in Battlefield 4 different in comparison to Battlefield 3? So that, and also like, how many squads can you have? Can you have an unlimited amount of squads, or is it just 5 squads you can have, as we see in the spectator mode? What is the approach here for you guys?
Yeah, so what we've done is, given the number of 5 players per squad, you can have as many squads as you need, 5-player squads up to the max amount. I don't think we ever settled for locking it.
Yeah.
But we are in the last fine-tunings there of basically what we can make in a readable UX interface. But we want to bring back the freedom to players. We're upping from 4 players to 5 players.
Yeah.
In the old days, we even had 6 players, but we also have the system of there's a certain kind of level of satisfaction to be able to level another squad. We built that part into the field upgrade system, which is a new part of our squad functionality, where each and every player, they pick their field upgrade career.
Yeah.
And specific ones for classes or the more general ones. Each member picks their own career, consists of four abilities or specializations that you unlock as you together progress and do actions, which means that your bar fill up, you have in the session unlock that is valuable for you, and your friend might have picked another one. But if you do get wiped, your bar will go down a certain percentage.
Yeah.
So it's about staying alive. When you get the message, you're the last man alive, you better kind of hit the deck and take cover until your friends spawn in and you're ready to go again.
Yeah, so it's like you want to make sure that people are very curious, very concerned about the fact that, hey, I'm in a squad, I got to play as a team member.
Yeah, and it's super annoying. I mean, when you don't know that you're last man and you go in gung-ho, then you would probably have rather waited to ensure that your friends stay in the front line so you can spawn back in if you would die.
Yeah, and that actually happened like that a lot. You know, that was always one of my complaints about, you know, Battlefield, like way back when I played. It was like, oh man, it's going to take me a while to get back into battle.
Yeah.
But now that's not the case anymore.
No.
So I'm very happy about that.
That's
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good idea. So, all right, I've been seeing this pop up like a million times. It's one of my favorite game modes in Battlefield, Titan mode. Gotta ask you, Lars. I mean, I know that it's out of like the realm of what the universe of Battlefield.
Yeah.
It fit in 2142 because of the fact that it was a futuristic game.
Yeah.
But I just want to know, like, if you ever did think like, hey, let's get ridiculous and put Titan mode into the game, like the U.S. military and the Chinese military created giant aircraft that float in the sky. That's just the storyline I'm going to give you. Do with it what you will. But is that something that you think that you guys might look into? It just doesn't fit with Battlefield 4.
I mean, we have a brilliant team at home, and they can twist and turn anything to make it fit.
Yeah.
In this case, I mean, we haven't really started to. We haven't locked down exactly what all the expansion packs will be, and we're still working on it. So all feedback is always welcome.
Of course.
So I'll put it. I'll put it on the list of great feedback. But overall, we do know that we have a lot of passionate people out there who love Battlefield 2142. I think my brother lost God knows how much time just playing 2142. So I love Titan mode, and who knows in what form it might turn up in the future. But I will remember that you told me.
Okay, well, I'm very glad. Hey, it's like one of my favorite things. I'm like just such a huge fan of it. So I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's sick. That is such a cool idea. So very happy about that, of course. And just so you guys know, by the way, you were taking a look at Corey's perspective. We were actually watching Corey's perspective as he was sniping, which was actually pretty cool. He didn't do too bad. I just gotta throw it out there.
You sound surprised.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, he's an old man, and I'm always afraid that his no, he just turned around to like give me like the stare down. Oh man, so that's good to know. And in regards to the expansion packs and all that stuff, I know that that's information you guys aren't going to talk about per se, but China Rising, which is one that's going to be releasing out the gate there. I do want to ask you a little bit about that. I mean, you know, is there any details that you could share with the community right now about China Rising, what it entails, or is that still super secret top news that only like the execs at EA and DICE know?
I mean, it is still under lock and seal.
Okay,
but overall, as the name says, we want to make even more out of the Chinese team and the Chinese setting. So I mean, I'm looking forward to talk more about that. But already now we still have multiple levels for the base game we haven't talked about. There's so many settings and themes that we, as you might have known by now, I mean, Siege of Shanghai brought something very new to the battlefield.
I agree.
Now with Parcel Storm, it's a totally different Levolution theme. So we have plenty more, as the trailer revealed, with flooding cities, breaking dams, and I mean, we're so caught up in what we do right now and long for showing more and more that, yeah, I'll save the stories about the upcoming expansion packs for later.
All right, and now I want to give a shout out to Battlefield Idea on Twitter. He has been asking me this all day long, the dog tag competition. A lot of people have been asking about it. How's it going? Found any cool dog tags so far in it? I mean, what's the lowdown with it?
To be honest, that's in the hands of the other crew. Right now, I've just been so head down shipping this game and, you know, preparing for E3, preparing for Gamescom.
Of course.
So I'll let the other guys on the team to answer up on that one.
All right, well, I will be sure to ask again. Hopefully, like if Patrick comes around or something, I'll bug him on it. You know, which is perfectly fine. So now, there was another thing I was curious about with the jets, right? We saw a lot of this as well, two-seater jets. People were asking about that. Is that something you guys had thought about doing, like two-seater jets and having that one person kind of like a system, the pilot, or be like the shooter or something like that? Or you guys are just fine with the one-seaters and that's all it is?
Yeah, we had them back in Battlefield 2, and we know that people like them, but it was also, I mean, a big part has been that many times we rather put an extra jet on the battlefield than add more players in the same vehicle. But I mean, we've heard the feedback and it might turn up again in the future. But overall, I mean, the more players we can have active on the battlefield, the more vehicles. I think we find this magic of dual planes always, I think I said it last time, always make better combat than one on each side. So a lot of little things that we try to balance in order to give you the best possible experience.
So now, you know, since I put the idea of the tie-in in your head.
Yeah.
Now I want to know, so like, is there any point in time, I've been literally like picking you guys about this one constantly. You know it's coming. I want to ride a dinosaur. Okay, now you guys teased me one time. I just got to do it. I saw the chat blowing up about it, and I figured why. And now we have some fun with it. So, dinosaur mode, huh? Let's talk about it.
Aren't you standing next to a battlefield dinosaur already?
Actually, you know what? You're right about that. Yeah. Go ahead. Break it down.
Isn't it wonderful that we all have our dreams and wishes? And what I love about Battlefield is almost everything is possible. So who knows? One day I would love to.
Yeah.
But right here, I go all in on Battlefield 4.